Rahul Shrivastava, when the Prime Minister talks about uplifting, bringing in a neo-middle class, schemes that have been launched to help the Vishwakarmas of our country, is this once again targeting a section that would reap rich political benefits in 2024? And is that also an indication, Rahul Shrivastava, when the government says for OBCs, for Sonar, for Raj Mistris, for barbers, the Vishwakarma Yojana, all of this is part of the Prime Minister's 2024 game plan?
Yes, Gaurav. There should be absolutely no doubt that this speech was, from the first word said till the last, largely as an electoral projection. If you recall, Prime Minister Narendra Modi initial part said, in 2014, you changed the trend which was lasting in India for the last 30 years. And with that one change, you permitted Modi to bring in reforms. Now, if you take that one line till the end, what is very clear, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is warning against and being voted with instability woven in. It's not just he asking for yet another mandate. He also telling the public that an unstable, unclear mandate will be detrimental to the interest of growth. So not only he is asking for a comeback from the voters, he's also telling them, don't vote me back with lesser numbers. And that's how minutely the election speech has been thought about. Every segment of the society, Gaurav, social or economic, has been addressed in it. It has not only been addressed that we have done X, Y, Z for you, but also what could well be the projection for tomorrow. New identification of newer category. Last time around in the election, if it was the PM Kisan Yojana, this time the middle class, that one element which was, I think, unaddressed, I think has been very secretly pushed. And there is no doubt that the government is eyeing that segment, because if there are some setbacks in the segments which were with the government or BJP for the last few years, then the government is trying to create a new one to augment that.
Rajdeep, before I bring in our guests, I want you to respond to this. 13.5 crore people, according to the Prime Minister, from the ramparts of the Red Fort, they've been addressed. This neo middle class. This middle class, Rajdeep, is actually, the Prime Minister hopes that they would be the thrust. Nari Shakti and middle class. PM Swanidhi, he talks about PM Awas, he talks about Jan Jeevan Mission, the amount of money that's being spent on Ayushman Bharat, all of that aimed at this new middle class, Rajdeep?
Gaurav, more than middle class, as Rahul called it, I would say neo-middle class, because this is a word that Modi ji first brought into the political parlance ahead of the 2012 Gujarat elections. Then he had given the example of an auto rickshaw driver and said these are the target audiences that he wants to reach out to. Today, when he talks of the Vishwakarma scheme, reaching out to artisans and craftsmen, when he talks about providing some kind of housing to the urban poor, those who may, have their homes in villages but are now working in the cities in rented accommodation, he's promising a scheme for them. You see, this is a vast class that doesn't strictly fall within the middle class as we know it. But this class has lost out, particularly post-COVID, the informal sector, the unorganized sector. Importantly, the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, has been attempting to target this very class, meeting truck drivers, meeting mechanics, having a photo yesterday with a vegetable vendor who he's reaching out to. This is that very community that the Prime Minister, I think, is consciously aware may not fall classically below the poverty line and is not part of the middle class, but also wants to be part of this aspirational society. So I think that is that neo-middle class which will become a target audience for both the government and the opposition, and the Prime Minister made an effort to address this specific group, giving them a sense of Samman, as he called it, making them Samriddh, and making them part of his vision of Amrit Kal. I think this neo-middle class will become a critical element of the Prime Minister's outreach in the months ahead, beyond the traditional GK or the Garib Kisan that the Prime Minister addressed in 2018 and then in 2019 with the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Yojana.
Okay, the Vishwakarmas of Bharat, the builders of new India, as was said.